Tuesday morning, Grenada, Caracol, PT, Martinique. Bless up your whole selves. Thank you so very much for tuning in to Good Morning Grenada. It is always a pleasure. My name is Blossom and I'm happy to be here with you. It is this 8th day of the 6th month of 2021. It is a terrific, tantalizing, tremendously splendorous Tuesday. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so very much for starting your waking hours of this Tuesday with us here at the GBN. Those of you joining us on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11 and 20, and good morning to the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9, and all the folks joining us on Party Grenada and Go To Fet Facebook pages. To all of our viewers and listeners joining us across the Caribbean, whichever part of the region you are, a spicy Grenadian 473 morning to each and every one of you. And those of you joining us internationally, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Hope you will have a good day, are having a good day, have had a good day. Thank you so very much for joining us. Let's get right into this morning's word of the day.
Now everybody get radical for 30 seconds. Come on. From the devil's head. Come on. Y'all ain't radical enough.
All right, this morning's word of the day is bumptious. Bumptious. It's spelled B-U-M-P-T-I-O-U-S. Bumptious. It's an adjective which means presumptuously, obtusely, and often noisily self-assertive or obtrusive. Bumptious. While we've uncovered evidence dating bumptious to the beginning of the 19th century, the word was uncommon enough decades later that Edward Bulwer Lytton included the following in his 1950 My Novel, She Holds Her Head Higher, I Think, said the landlord smiling. She was always not exactly proud-like, but what I call bumptious. I never heard that word before, and the parson laying down his knife and fork. Bumptious indeed, though I believe it is not in the dictionary, has crept into familiar parlance, especially amongst young folks in school and college. The word is, of course, now in the dictionary. Our notes that it comes from the noun bump and the T-I-O-U-S of fractious, which gives us the word bumptious. That's the word of the day this morning, B-U-M-P-T-I-O-U-S, an adjective which means presumptuously, obtusely, and often noisily self-assertive. An example of the use of the word: the brash, bumptious New Yorkers I'd encountered in college had assured me that everything in New York was the best. Another example of the use of the word: since its introduction in the late 1900s, the Escalade has been the 118-year-old Detroit luxury brand's flagship, its most expensive model, and the one that perhaps best represents the marque's distinctly American blend of bumptious brazenness, brassy luxury, and go-anywhere capability. That's the word of the day this morning, bumptious, spelled B-U-M-P-T-I-O-U-S. It's an adjective which means presumptuously, obtusely, and often noisily self-assertive. And as you go about your terrific Tuesday, the thought of today is: because of your difficult experience, you will become stronger, wiser, and more compassionate toward those having a hard time. Because of your difficult experience, you will become stronger, wiser, and more compassionate toward those having a hard time. You can often relate to people going through difficult times because of your own experiences, because of things that you've gone through in your own life. You can always just show a little empathy, feel a little empathy, show sympathy, especially those going through hard times. They're not always easy to spot. People going through hard times are not always easy to spot. Some of them put a smile on their faces and are going through difficult times. But every time, or most times, that you can pinpoint somebody that is going through something, you can relate because of your own experiences. And even if you can't relate, just imagine. Put yourself in their shoes, as the saying goes. The thought of today: because of your difficult experience, you will become stronger, wiser, and more compassionate toward those having a hard time. All right, let us see what is celebrated today. Today it is June 8th, 2021, and today it is World Ocean Day. World Ocean Day is celebrated today. This is where we pay homage and say thank you to the ocean for all the pleasures that it provides, as well as the sea life that it harnesses. It harnesses, okay? It has coordinated June 8th as World Oceans Day for the past 17 years. It is a crucial environmental issue, and we get both food and medicine from the deep blue sea, and it helps to keep the climate in check. It is World Oceans Day today. The first thing that comes to mind is litter. All of our litter enters into the sea somehow, some way or the other. So on World Oceans Day, in addition to taking a little sea bath today, refrain from littering. That's my mission for you all today. My thoughts, my wish, my hope. The litterations, no littering anytime, but especially today, World Ocean Day, because they all get into the ocean and it's the same fish we want to eat and it's the same beach we swimming in, when after we have done already filtered it or made it filthy with our litter. So don't litter today. On World Oceans Day, that's the mission for today. That's a good way. That's a good way to get all it to relax all yourself. And today it is also Best Friends Day. Best Friends Day. Whether they're near or far, old or new, best friends help to carry us through life. June 8th, Best Friends Day. It's a time to tell them how much we appreciate their company. So hail up your brethren, your sister, and your best friend. The best friends are like what I say again is a pocket money. Best friend. It's not often you get best friends, eh? Even if it's just one you have, there are some people who have 3 and 4, a group of you. Hail up the best friends today. They serve a purpose. In addition to making us giggle and grin and feel good, they're always a shoulder to lean on. They're always there for us when we need them. Hail up the best friends / best friends today. Hail them up. Good morning, Terry Roberts. My whole sister and my whole heart. Anybody see Terry Roberts today, tell her, say, bless up she whole self. Best friends are some good set of people to have. All right, just before we go to the morning edition of news, there are some people that I wanted to hail up. Let me see how many of them I can hail up. First of all, I want to hail up Rion Radix. Rion Radix, he is, I would call him a former long distance runner. He used to make waves when there were road races and road relays, but he has since transitioned into being a certified official for football, and just I think it was over the weekend. Yes, over the weekend, he made history for Grenada by becoming the first Grenadian match official to officiate in the CONCACAF Nations League match. And that game was between Honduras and Costa Rica. And Rion is the first Grenadian to actually be a match official at that level. So we say thank you and congratulations to him. He is one of the few, I can't remember the exact number of officials that we have on FIFA's list, but he is one of them. I can tell you it is not more than 5. And he is one of them, and I know that he has been trying very hard and doing what he does in football. So bless him up, big up your whole self, Rion. We appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm also going to take the opportunity this morning to hail up our national athletes. Over the weekend, 2 more of our national athletes that have represented Grenada in international events graduated. Timon, I know you don't have that. First off, Melanie Rodney graduated from the University of California with a bachelor's degree in sociology, as well as national swimmer Oriolua Cherubin. She graduated with a master's degree in chemistry from the University of Indianapolis. So I just wanted to big them up and bless them up. In addition to representing us on the international stage, they kept their heads down, did their studies, and are graduating with degrees, master's and bachelor's degrees, and those are just two of the most recent ones. Some of our other athletes will be in action today. Today is the 8th. Yes, today I know Anderson Peters has to be in action in Finland in the javelin, of course. Somebody else, and Melanie also has to compete in the women's 400 meters semi-final in a meet in the US as well over the next few days. So we send them good luck, good positive vibrations. Keep doing what you're doing, representing Grenada. I always have to hail up my people when I know what they're doing out there and share with our viewers and listeners who may not be aware. So good morning and thank you again to all of our athletes. Now let's get ready for the morning edition of News and not Week in Review, but highlights of last evening's newscast. This is Good Morning Grenada, Classic GBN Hot 98. We'll be right back.
Grenada's homicide-free streak for the year 2021 came to an end on Monday morning after a brutal stabbing incident in the south of mainland Grenada. One woman is dead while a man remains in police custody.
It's been over 18 years since the Royal Grenada Police Force recorded a first homicide so far down in the year. Words coming from the head of the Community Relations Department, Superintendent Vannie Kerwin, as he addressed a press conference on the slaying of Lindy Skinner Moraine, a food vendor of Jean Anglais St. George, on Monday morning. According to Superintendent Kerwin, preliminary investigations revealed that the accused, Calvin Frank, reported to police at South St. George Police Station that the victim owed him $150 and requested police assistance. What transpired next was unexpected.
Sadly, at about 9:15 this morning, we have recorded our first homicide for 2021. Unfortunately and regrettably, Lindy Skinner Moraine, a food vendor of Jean Anglais St. George's, has died. Accused of her death is Calvin Frank, a 33-year-old of Bailey's Bacolet in St. David's. Our early investigation revealed that the accused has made a report to the South St. George Police Station prior to the incident this morning. The report revealed a sum of money that was owing to him by the deceased. The police at South St. George responded to his report, and an arrangement was made that a small sum be paid this afternoon. The police satisfied that the matter was properly handled and have left the scene. Subsequently, Mr. Frank is alleged to have used a knife and inflicted several stab wounds to the body of the victim. He was taken to the hospital for medical attention to his hands for wounds that he sustained, and he is now in police custody assisting police with the investigations.
A witness who did not wish to appear on camera relayed to GBN details of what was observed during the fatal altercation.
This morning, I heard screams, and then I came out and I saw the daughter in the road with her panty and bra bawling. Oh, the guys dealing with her, stabbing her mother and stuff like that. You know, help her. But the mother was still breathing. She said the guy cut the mother throat and started choking the mother and thing. And then she kept asking if her mother was breathing and thing. But we keep telling her, yes, her mother's breathing. I saw him with a knife, and then that's when I called the police, because that was more than a fight. So it was more than a fight. The ambulance came, they pronounced her dead, which is sad, and the daughter has CXC, you know, in a couple of weeks and things. So like she can't function, and this is sad. Police came for him. Apparently I heard he called the police, and then he put his hand behind his back, and then the police went with him. But I told the police I had to deal with him worse than that, because you don't do things like that, especially murder and things, you know.
A neighbor and friend of the deceased recalled how Lindy treated him during the short time that he knew her.
I know Lindy from January the 12th to this date, not much. She was the best friend I ever had. I came out of prison. I wasn't here when she rented the place from her landlord. But everybody in the community tell her, be careful with me, stay away from me. She said the best thing happened to me, Hayden, is you. The only friend I have. If I'm hungry, I go by Lindy, I get food. I got Boston.
Reports are that the daughter of the deceased, who was sitting CSEC exams this year, was also stabbed during the altercation. She received medical attention at the General Hospital and was discharged. Superintendent Kerwin has appealed to members of the public to exercise a level of tolerance, even in situations requiring police assistance.
One day that is, considered as senseless as this one might be considered is really unacceptable by our standards. So we are asking that matters be resolved in an amicable way. We are asking for tolerance. There are other ways to resolve matters other than with violence. If only we talk to each other and get the help that we need and get people involved, I am sure that these violent tendencies will disappear.
For GBN News, Beverly Tellisford.
The sad news continue. The Murray and Lawrence families were sent into mourning following the tragic death of welder Loxley Murray of Rucane, St. David. On Saturday, GBN rushed to the Grand Mall area after receiving reports of an explosion that led to the loss of life for one individual. Gerard Joseph has the details.
A heartbroken father staggering to his knees as he and the common law spouse of the deceased identified the body of Loxley Murray. The family members had already begun congregating on the scene at the Grand Mall terminal as GBN arrived after receiving reports of a death resulting from an explosion in the area. Details on what transpired remain sketchy. However, family members did confirm that the deceased suffered severe burns to various parts of his body. Reports say he was welding a section of the truck when the explosion occurred.
Well, I was on a job and I get a phone call and tell me, he was welding and the thing broke with it.
His father, Lawrence Murray, describes his son as a very quiet, nice young man. His mother, Bonnet Murray, lamented the fact that he died on the birthday of his twin sons.
Father called me and tell me sad news, call Lloyden. So when he said call Lloyden, I said, what happened to Loxley? I tell you sad news, call Lloyden. Well, I go in the bathroom one time and I start to cry. I said, well, something happened to Loxley, They said, just call Lloyden. And then the next brother say, why you thinking you don't know what happened? But since I say call Lloyden, he would have said call Loxley because Loxley have a bigger transport, So I said, well, something sad. I said, I hope Loxley not dead. I say, even though he born, but I hope, But knowing when they call back and they say he died. No, the man who used to work with called and said, if the police call. I said, no, I don't know because I was crying and the brother said, yes, the police call and they're waiting on the doctor. So I waiting on the doctor, then I know that he died.
I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Meanwhile, Charles Archer, country representative for Rubis West Indies Limited on Monday, assured the public that the incident is under investigation and that the Grand Mall terminal has been thoroughly checked and safely secured following what the company referred to as an isolated incident.
The statement issued by the company reads, and I quote, at approximately 11 a.m. on Saturday, 5th June 2021, an explosion occurred at our Grand Mall terminal in Grenada whilst welding work was being performed on a fuel tanker. This explosion sadly resulted in the unfortunate death of one of our contractors, Loxley Murray. We wish to express our deepest condolences to the family of Mr. Murray and assure the public that we are investigating this very serious incident. Our local and regional teams are working very closely with the Grenadian authorities to quickly establish the details and cause of the explosion. Safety is our number one priority at Rubis, and we wish to reassure residents that our Grand Mall terminal has been thoroughly checked and safely secured following this isolated incident. We are devastated by this tragic loss of life. We will provide further updates as soon as additional information becomes available. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Update on road fatalities. The RGPF is awaiting the directive of the Department of Public Prosecution as to the way forward and if any charges will be made against anyone involved in the 2 road fatalities recorded in Grenada for 2021. Superintendent Vannie Kerwin of the Community Relations Department made the announcement on Monday.
We have had 2 fatalities, 2 fatal accidents that we are awaiting response from the DPP for, and I want to take the opportunity to say to the Grenadian public how this process works. The police conduct investigation into fatal accidents and in fact into all crimes, and then those files are submitted to the Director of Public Prosecution's office so that he can determine if or who is charged and for what. Those files are with the Director of Public Prosecution. We are awaiting a response from him as to the direction that we need to take in these matters. As soon as we receive information from the Director of Public Prosecution, whatever directive he gave are going to be carried out by the RGPF. So whether anyone going to be charged or not, that will be determined by the DPP's office. And when we have that directive and that information, we will act on it accordingly.
Michael Williams lost his life 2 weeks after meeting in an accident on February 14th on the Morris Bishop Highway after his car collided with another vehicle. Subsequent to that accident, a senior resident of Tempe St. George was struck and killed by a vehicle on Friday, April 30th by another resident in Tempe. The man was pronounced dead at the scene. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II has recognized a Grenadian volunteer with the Commonwealth Points of Light Award. Tamika Gilbert awarded for her exceptional voluntary service helping families affected by the coronavirus pandemic. We get details in this report.
My heart is overflowing with gratitude for such a recognition. The past year has been an overall heartwarming experience for me. What started out as a simple response to a need for food and help during the lockdown period has now grown into the TAG Foundation, which is now giving help however and whenever we can, the true essence of the art of giving.
This is how Tamika Gilbert responded as GBN sought to find out how she felt when she got the news. Tamika created the Art of Giving charitable foundation in April 2020 following the coronavirus outbreak to encourage people to donate care and relief items to help vulnerable members of society during the pandemic. She has been spurred on by this award and hopes to inspire the true art of giving among Grenadians.
It is my hope that as a Point of Light awardee, I am able to ignite a new era of human giving here in Grenada. Every Grenadian should recognize that as human beings, we have a responsibility to help those in need, to really do whatever we can to try and improve the lives of our fellow Grenadians. I must say that I have to give credit to the TAG team of volunteers and the donors whose generosity really is the reason why I'm getting this award today. Without them, I definitely couldn't do all that I've done in the past year. I look forward to their continued support and the support of others, and look out for what TAG has in store for the future.
So far, over 200 families have been supported, and the foundation also distributed emergency supplies further afield to people affected by the recent volcanic eruption in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. By sharing these stories of service, the Commonwealth Points of Light Awards celebrate inspirational acts of volunteering across the Commonwealth and help inspire others to make their contribution to tackling some of the greatest social challenges of our time. Dr. Clinton Lewis and Mr. George Francis were also awarded the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire for services to humanity as part of the Queen's Birthday Honour List for 2021. Evans Goodin and Leonard Joy Peters for services to agriculture were awarded the British Empire Medal. Agriculture Senator Roderick St. Clair has since congratulated the farmers. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Such great work, ladies. Congratulations. It was a career day at D&D Preschool and Daycare last Friday. Students were all attired in the outfits matching their career choice. Chrislena John was there and has this report.
You will serve and protect.
It was the final career day activity for some preschool students at D&D Preschool and Daycare in Calvini, St. George. As they prepare to enter primary education, students showcased their career choice on Friday for the final time. The careers varied. However, being a doctor was the career of choice among many. Here's why these careers were chosen.
I like to dance, and that's why I want to be a ballerina. I like to dance and entertain people.
Very nice.
To catch bad guy. To help people. To have a kinetic bicycle.
Police officers attached to the South St. George Police Station and a fireman were present to provide tips on becoming a successful police officer.
To be a police, or if you want to be a teacher, or you want to be a nurse, or nearly any one of those professions you're dressed with, a fireman, prison officer, you should not give any trouble where the police have to arrest you or charge you. You know why? Because you would have a conviction and you would not be enlisted or enrolled in your profession. And we don't want that. And if you have a career in mind as you so desire to be, and you keep it in mind, taking into consideration or behaving as a good boy or as a good girl, you would eventually be that police officer, that nurse, that mailman, that sergeant, and that teacher.
Teacher at the institution, Teacher Neela, also explained what the different careers entailed. Chrislina John,
Adorable. The Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority will soon commission a new landfill at Perseverance, St. George. Details in this report.
The lone landfill on the island is said to have reached its limits in terms of the amount of waste accumulated at the site over the years. Sourcing of an alternative landfill site once proved a challenge. $12 million have been invested in a new landfill at Perseverance St. George. Lands were secured in that area, which will keep operations at the facility. This new landfill is expected to divert waste away from the Perseverance landfill. General Manager at the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority, Lyndon Robertson, says they had hoped to be functional by March end. However, due to challenges experienced, this should come to fruition by August end.
And that landfill, once commissioned, we would be sending all the waste to be deposited in that area. We are hoping that by that time we would start separation and resource recovery in order to extend the lifespan. At the current generation rate of waste, we expect to have about 5 years. So it is therefore necessary that we recover or recycle as much as we could.
The general manager says they are working towards a set period. He further explained.
We have a target that by 2030 or between 2030 and 2035 to recycle about 80% of the waste that come to our facility. So that is in the works. We establish a unit that would look at resource recovery as part of a major component of our operation. And we are hoping to extend the lifespan of that facility as long as possible, because alternate sites is something that very, very limited. In fact, may not be possible right now.
Household and domestic waste continues to be the largest category of the total waste stream arriving at Perseverance, followed by papers and plastic. The investment was made possible by the government of Grenada through a loan from the Caribbean Development Bank. Meanwhile, the National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, has issued a smoke advisory to motorists in the Perseverance area. Motorists traveling along the Perseverance Road are asked to exercise extra caution due to reduced visibility caused by smoke from the burning dump site. Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority is working together with the fire department to bring the fire under control and apologizes for any inconvenience this may cause. Chrislina John, GBN News.
80% recycling is a good target. I really hope we get there. And now we turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Trelana Charles has been looking around the platforms.
This is Social Buzz, where we shine a light on the thoughts and concerns of our online audience. Bus operators in the town of St. George complained last week that the public toilet facilities at the bus terminal had been closed for days without any indication as to when it will be reopened.
This last year, the urine part of it was backing up, and this year, everything just had back up. What we asking the authority to do is to put 2 disposable, that's right. They could put 2 inside it because senior people come in and asking for a washroom and they have to leave and go. They cannot use it. So the authority, it seems to me that they just close it down and then trying to fix it. It's affecting me very bad because sometimes we have to leave here and go along to the mall. We have to leave up here and go down to the mall. So it's time for them to come and fix that.
Our online audience gave their opinions on the situation. Simone commented, "Communication is really poor in this place. Probably meet with the president of each bus association to inform them so they can pass on the information to others. Better yet, put a sign so everyone will know what's happening and how to maneuver themselves. Other alternatives can also be provided in the meantime as well. Why do things have to be so complicated?" Donna added the bus terminal closes at a certain hour at night. So why doesn't the health minister and his ministry have the maintenance team working at nights to rectify this problem before it becomes a bigger problem? Maybe the septic system needs to be pumped out in order for the toilet backing up to stop. But again, that's not the priorities at the moment because it isn't affecting those in the upper side of the cabinet where the ministers sit. Darrell wrote, "It seems a matter of total disrespect. If the toilet facilities need work, then you must provide an alternative, even portable ones like at events, but also a notice saying how long they will be out of order." And Humphrey commented, "It is not fair to the bus drivers, nor the passengers, nor the general public to have the main toilet facilities out of use because of problems. It's bad enough that the public has to be charged a fee just to relieve themselves. The public regulation is for the citizens not to urinate in an exposed place, but what choice is the government giving the public if they don't take care of priority issues like the public bathroom? I'm raising this issue especially for the elderly because some of them need those facilities more. This is not the way that Grenada can progress if there is such simple neglect." That's it for tonight's Social Buzz. If you would like to have your thoughts and concerns shared, be sure to comment on GBN's Facebook page.
From the thought process to the visual impact, it's time to take a peek through the GBN ISAW lens.
Our ISAW reporter tonight submitted video footage of a vehicular accident that occurred along the Westerhall Main Road on Saturday. Though no serious injuries were reported, both vehicles appear badly damaged. We encourage motorists to exercise due care and attention when traversing the roads. Send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Trends come and go, but jewelry is forever in style. Give a gift that lasts a lifetime. Diamond Intercontinental have diamond jewelry, gold and silver jewelries, engagement rings, wedding bands, chains, bracelets, and so much more. They also carry brands such as Anne Klein and Guess. Why wait? Visit Diamond Intercontinental Jewelry Store at the Esplanade Mall. Call 440-231234. The number again, 232-1234.
Level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, because we are open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. All brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. Plumbing fixtures, cutting and grinding discs, PVC glue, drywall screws, and power saw blades. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
Introducing Color by Seasons. 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 Color by Seasons.
Montreal, it's time to line virtually one more time. Gemma Rayburn Baines here for Spice Island Cultural Festival, a celebration of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. This summer's festival is a celebration of life with food, fashion, music, and culture. Join us online Saturday, July 10th, 3 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube at Spice Island Cultural Festival. Info, spiceislandculturalday.com.
If it's tech, we got it. If it's an appliance, we've got that too. Dad, if you want it, you should get it this Father's Day at Quartz. Quartz has unbeatable prices, up to 30% off selected products. So whatever you want, you should get it. Only at Quartz, bringing value home.
In our part of the world, we need to be prepared for natural disasters like storms and hurricanes, even outside of the season. I'm sure you'll agree that keeping our loved ones, homes, and businesses safe is important. So, I came up with a few quick tips to help you stay safe. First, make a family disaster plan and ensure that everyone in your household is familiar and comfortable with it. Remember to add batteries and flashlights to your emergency kit. Now, for electrical safety. Familiarize yourself with your electrical panel, as it may be necessary to switch off the power during a storm or flood. Make sure you install a transfer or isolation switch to prevent your generator feeding electricity to Grenlec's line. If trees are too close to power lines, call Grenlec at 237 for advice. By following these easy steps, you will be well on your way to being hurricane ready. Don't be caught off guard by natural disasters. Prepare now. For more information, visit grenlec.com.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 418-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Foliage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Understanding our ocean is education for life. Encourage your students to learn about marine life, water quality, sea level rise. Let them explore sciences. Encourage them through field trips and scholarships. The more they know, the better they can protect our oceans from litter and climate change. Let them rise to the challenge. The ocean is our responsibility, their inheritance, their future.
This message brought to you by the OECS Commission with funding from the Government of Norway. Remlit, tackling ocean pollution from turf to surf.
Get Rubigas. Get cooking. Rubigas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Rubigas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100-pound cylinders. Rubigas LPG, clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Rubigas?
Get Rubis, get going.
We are taking pride in outstanding performance.
Welcome back to Good Morning Grenada. It is now 16 and a half minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock. It is Tuesday. You know what that means. It's time to learn how to make our money work for us. This morning, of course, joining us is financial consultant Tarlie Francis, and this is Money Matters.
Can you spend wisely and have more savings? Yes, you can. Learn more with Money Matters on GBN Television. The Money Matters series explores 12 top ways to save money. In this series, you would learn how to save by setting up your spending money right. Save on vehicle loans, home improvement projects, your credit cards, and even on prescription drugs. Tune in every Tuesday morning at 7:15 for Money Matters, a lighthearted conversation with financial planner Tarlie Francis. Follow the rebroadcast on Thursdays at 6:50 p.m. and on Sundays at 7:30 p.m. Money Matters is a financial literacy public awareness program sponsored by Republic Bank Grenada.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Welcome back, and of course Money Matters is sponsored by Republic Bank. We thank them once again for coming on board with this series. It has been for the past 8 weeks. This morning is episode 9, and we have 12 episodes. This it's hurting my feelings that we're coming to a close, but the tips that we've learned over the past 2 months has definitely been beneficial, and I'm sure we're going to get some more tips this morning from Mr. Francis. Good morning, sir, and welcome once again.
Good morning to you. Good morning to all your listeners and viewers. I hope we have a nice time in the next 15 or so minutes.
Yeah, man, I know we're going to have a good one, because this morning we're talking how to save on major appliances, phone services, and electricity bills.
That's right. That's quite a compact trio, huh?
Yes, it is. Well, okay, so let's start with the major appliances, and by this we mean things like the refrigerator, stove, washing machine. That's considered major appliances, right?
Yes, that's correct. So appliances are like one of the things that you have around the house that you take them for granted. They're quite numerous, and some of them will be considered major, others of them will be considered minor. These are things like your dishwashers, if you have that. Your microwave could also be considered that. Your refrigerator, things like your vacuum cleaner, those things that you take for granted, you have them in the house, a little AC and so on. Some people even have air purifier as an example. And for most of us, the kind of blenders we have these days so expensive, you could also include that as well. So yeah, these are items that you have in the home that sometimes you don't really bother with them, you pass them every minute, but they're really important. And when they go down, you are in a position where you just have to replace them. The convenience you can't do without.
Exactly, because the major problem with relying on them is that when unexpectedly they crash or we have to replace them, it's always a moment of desperate need. And large appliances are not cheap. Refrigerators, washing machine, we're talking about things that could run into hundreds of dollars. So that's the kind of point for this episode. How can we save when buying major appliances?
That's right. And the truth is that there are not many ways if you really are not taking your time, and if you're not paying good attention to what you're doing. If you had a little savings and you're prepared to replace your appliance when you need it to replace, either because it's broken or because you have decided you'll replace it after 10 or 15 years, then you are in a position to pay in cash. And this is one way to save, because when you go to replace your appliance, whether it's a big one like a refrigerator or a small one like a blender or a vacuum cleaner maybe, it could be tempting, especially because you're in that desperate moment to get a new one, to use your credit card, for example. It could be tempting to use hire purchase as well. But what these things do is that they put you in a position where you have to pay interest, and therefore the eventual cost that you pay for the appliance is much more than the price at the store. So saving by putting aside money so that when you need it, you can use it to buy your appliance, then that is a way to not overspend on home appliances. Imagine that when you take the hire purchase arrangement, or you take the credit card drawdown or payment, then what you're doing is that you have the appliance at home and you are actually paying for having the appliance because of its cost, and you're also paying for the money that you used in order to get the appliance at the time you get it. So to save, you have to be, as we said from the very beginning, try to be deliberate in this point. So if you know that you inherited a refrigerator, maybe you are now 24, 25 years old, and that is a hand-me-down refrigerator that you inherited. The thing was there since before you born. Somewhere in your savings, you should have been preparing to replace it at some point in time. And that could be a way that you save for a target amount of X or Y that a refrigerator would cost, the type that you want, and by paying cash, you are able to save on major appliances. So that's one thing. Now, we're not really dissing or we're not really criticizing people who take hire purchase or who buy appliances with their credit cards. All we're doing really is giving a way in which you can save, so you buy in cash. Another way you can save on these appliances is to buy a used one. Now, a lot of people have appliances that they want to change. A 5-year-old refrigerator, for example, might be changed by a certain family because they increase in size of the family, and so they want a larger one. They will sell the one they have, which is only 5 to 8 years old, and it's still very good. You would find that you will buy that refrigerator, it will last you another 5 or 10 years perhaps, and you would have saved an amount of money that, is significant, comparing a new one at a time with a used one. Some stores also have repossessed or that kind of appliances that came back in for repairs. The person bought a new one, or appliances that were traded in. Some stores do trade in as well. And you find that if you buy a used appliance, you can get great mileage out of it. There's a thing called cleaning and Clorox and disinfectant and alcohol and so on that could put it in a sanitary condition for you if you're not sure. So you sanitize it and you begin to use it after you buy it used. There is no problem with that, and you save a ton load of money by doing it that way. Another way you could save is to wait for the sale. There is always, invariably, for a whole year, if you think about it, there's always a time in the year when there is a markdown on appliances. This could be because the store is getting rid of old models in order to bring on new one. So they drop the price, clearance sale kind of thing, warehouse sales kind of thing. And so look for those and wait for those if you can to buy major appliances. So for example, you want to replace your vacuum cleaner. There is some things you can do during a month or even a 3-month period, waiting for a sale to come, so that you do not pay $1,500 for a vacuum cleaner, but rather you pay $800 or maybe even $600. Look for the sale, and that is a way to save on these. With appliances, you could also save by bundling. Almost every single area that we were talking about spending money on items that we consume or we utilize for our daily benefits, almost all of them we have been saying that you can save by bundling. So one thing is put together with another thing, and you find that you can get discounts by buying a certain number of items together. And this is another way of saving on home appliances and on major appliances for the home in general. So your washing machine, you buy that together with a dryer, and at the same time, you also buy a microwave, for example. And those things you ask the store, can you now give me a little deal on the package? Now the fella or the lady on the floor may not be able to give you that deal, so you might have to see the floor supervisor or the manager or so. But once again, we come to the point of the importance of talking it's always good to ask and even to negotiate, because there you can save as well. An important way that we often do not pay attention to is the older models. I just mentioned that sometimes the store does a clearance sale, but what you find is that when it's time to renew their inventory, you can find models that are like 2 or 3 cycles old being sold at a lower price. By that time, as the economists and the retail pricing people say, by that time, the store made its money on the whole bulk already, so it could afford to reduce the price on the remaining 2 or 3. So you pay attention to, when you walk in the store to get your appliance, find out if there are some models there that are cheaper or older, and you can get it at the original or the older price rather than the new model price. And what you would find is that some of the features that the new model has, the old model had them anyway. So there is no great advantage. Perhaps it's shaped different, perhaps it's a different color, perhaps it's opening on top instead of below. All those fancy reasons why models tend to have a difference one to another, and then it ends up in the price. But you do not necessarily have to pay the price if when you need your appliance or while you wait for your appliance, you keep shopping to see that the older models are coming out cheaper. But sometimes you walk into the store to buy something, and the thing is perfect except for a little scratch on the side. Or it is perfect except for a little dent on the top. Because when Tarlie and them was taking on the box, what they do is that they knock the people thing. But the thing had to sell still. The store look at it, what they do is that they bring down the price a little bit in order to compensate for the little damage. You go home with a perfect appliance, although it has a little dent here or a little scratch there. And this is a way to save. When you walk in the store, you deliberately look for the pay, and then when you reach home, you take a little one of these off thing and so on, and you wipe and you wipe and you wipe today, you come, you wipe tomorrow, and what you realize is that the scratch, you almost haven't seen it no more after a time because of the work, the elbow grease that you put in. So this is another way that you could save as well. Take slightly damaged goods from the shop, and you will find that there's a similar one. You will find that you have no problem with such. There's a similar way to save, which is that when you go to the store, this happened to me recently too. I went in there, this computer store. I actually bought a computer. So this one I had there is not bought online. This one I bought it at a store right here. And when I went in there, I actually got this for $600 and something dollars. Cheaper. Why? Because it was the store model. It was the one that everybody come and they joke up and so on, they test it and so on. It was the store model. I asked my partner to check the thing now. Tell me, so what's the real difference I'll be buying? He says, sir, I can tell you. The only reason I sold it is because it is a flow model or the store model, meaning that everybody who came and they wanted to joke something, they joked that. Or we wanted to show them how it works, we showed them with it. But the same life that it was here, it has been here for about 8 or so months, and the same life that it was having here, it would have had at you, and nothing would have happened, so you could take it as an example. So you could find washing machines, microwave, anything that is the one that was displayed on the floor that people could have touched. Sometimes you find that with phone as well. That's very rare, but sometimes you find that with phones as well. But we're talking about appliances here, major appliances, and that's another way you could save. What about features? If you look to the features of some of the appliances that we buy, when we have them in the house, we don't even use all the features. But because they have those add-on features, the prices go up. When you go to buy major appliances, that's one of the things you can do. Explore all the features that you're talking about, and the difference between this one price and that one price includes features that you may not use or you don't want, but all those bells and whistles cost money, and perhaps you don't need them at the point in time that you're trying to save money, and that is another way of saving funds. So you see, right there, all the way through, we've gone through a few parts well, and these we have prepared so that we could say, are they savers in truth or not savers? And what we found is that yes, these are ways in which you could save. But if you notice, Each one of them requires that you pay attention yourself and you deliberately go to save when you're going to get that appliance.
That's true, because a lot of these modern appliances, you find that some of the features that back in the day were considered extras, like these days there's part of the standard features in the latest models. So I guess to me, shopping around will be another way to save on appliances. Shop around for what you're looking for.
Yes, but that's a big point you're making, because the truth of the matter is that appliances have the modern appliances, we call them your modernized. So things that you used to have to pay for before, you no longer have to pay for now because they're in the price of the item. And you don't really find an item without it. For example, I was mentioning computer. I could use this example, although not a major one, but I can use this example. Computer, for example, it's very rare that you go to a computer store, you go to buy a laptop, or sometimes even some of the more advanced desktop, and you don't have touch screen. Yeah, but that's a feature in there now. Long ago, you had to pay real extra when you're buying one with touchscreen, but now that's a very normal feature. So you're quite correct. And the same thing happens with appliances. Some of the thermostat type of add-ons that you have in refrigerators, for example, a separate temperature reader for the top as for the bottom. This used to be an added feature costing a lot of money before, but right now it's built into most of them. So you're quite right. And so because of that, what you would find is that the way to save in that case would be to shop around, just like we say for everything else. So you're quite right. And shopping around helps us because we can pay attention to what the price is here, what the price is there. And in the good Grenadian Caribbean style, we go inside it and we negotiate. But how you get me this and I see this for that down the road. So you can negotiate and so on, because you know an informed buyer, you're an informed purchaser, because you have shopped around and you know what prices are here and there, and you know the comparison between the different models or brand names and so on as well. So I think, that's one way you can save quite a bit, which is to shop around. You could also save, as we on trading in. You could also trade in. There are some stores that allow you to bring in your appliance. Once it's in good condition, they know that they can sell it again, just like it's done with cars, trading cars. Some major appliances do have trading, as well as you have some bodywork people and some, like somebody mentioned when we were doing cars, like the junkyard. You actually have some Stanford and Sons kind of people who, would purchase the thing from you at, at a low price, and then fix it up and, have it there for sale as well. If you have those opportunities, you could also use those to sell, because the money you get from trading in is actually liquid cash that you can use to replace your appliance. Yes, indeed. So, hopefully those tips can really help us to save money on major appliances. As you said earlier on, the critical thing is that we usually wait until the thing breaks down and we're desperate to get a new one in order to think about the money to pay for it. But we need to think about the money to pay for it in two instances. The one is before you need it, you have your regular savings, or you can target savings because you want to change the washing machine this year. It broke down once, it broke down twice, the technician came, he fixed it, but you want to not have that problem. So you want to buy a new one. When you begin to save specifically for that, and you put that on your agenda, my savings is $10 a month for the washing machine next Easter, something like that, or next summer.
And for those of you just joining us, this is Money Matters. This segment is sponsored by Republic Bank. Once again, we thank them for being the sponsors for the Money Matters series. Okay, so Mr. Francis, we've dealt with the household appliances. Can we move on to phone services now? These days, you hardly see anybody without a cell phone.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
How can we save on phone services?
Yes, that's right. You ever check that in truth? The one thing you could be certain that somebody has in their possession, apart from the clothes on their backs, cell phone. And so that is true. But we have the phone service. There you go. There you go. And I have to make sure mine is off. I don't even need it here, but look, I still also have. So that's one thing you can be certain. And you have it everywhere. And with that comes the cost or the price of being connected as well, because you have to stay connected. If you have on your cell phone pay as you go, for example, you really don't want a minute to pass before you top up again. And now it has been made easier so that you're topping up online. You just go just before your data run out, you top up. And so it is something. So phone service is a kind of tricky one because you have to be connected. You want to be connected. It's a staple today. And one of the things that happen is that you now have to use a cell phone because almost no one is who you would like to be in contact with is in a place where you could call a cell phone. You could call a landline or you could call a fixed line. It's very, very rare that you find someone like that. And then you're so accustomed to using it on the go that you really have to have it. So this is an expense that you have, and then we have no control over what the rates are. In some countries, the governments are stipulated maximum and minimum and thing, and ECTL and so on in this region working towards helping states to do that. But the good news is that even though we don't have control over the price per minute and and things like that per gig and all that sort of thing, we do have a way in which we could save, or ways in which we could save just from the habits that we build up and the things that we do with these phones. So one of the ways that you could save is in the usage when you have pay as you go and so on, or the plan that you take that can help you to have unlimited or limited up to a certain number of days and so on. So how you use the phone is something you should know. And based on how you use it, you pay for a plan that suits your phone lifestyle, let's call it that way, or your communication lifestyle. So if you don't need the expenditure on a plan that has X or Y amount of data, X or Y amount of talk time, and you can save even $10 on the plan that you use, which has less, then that is a way to save. Again, deliberately knowing what you will be consuming and therefore paying for that and no more. The big place to save in the mobile phone is in the data uses. And one of the things that you find is we forget to turn off the data. Now, before it was not, you did not have a place where you could turn off data for everything. But most of the phones these days, you could turn off in the software there, you can turn off the data for every single thing on your phone. Or you can specify that you will do certain things only by Wi-Fi. And going into the phone and making sure that that happens enables you to use lower bandwidth. The Android phones, for example, like my Samsung has a feature where you go in there and you use a light mode. Light mode saves a lot. If you do the read up right in the phone there, it actually tells you how much it saves on data just by switching to light mode. You can just go to, for example, and that's on all the Google browser there. You just go in there, you go to your Chrome menu, you go settings, and you search for light mode. You click on light mode, and believe me, that's a lot of money that you save. There's a place you also save in data. Those of us who use the Google Maps. I mean, the island we live in is not so large, but people still use Google Maps for one reason or another. When you travel, you use it as well. And a way to save on your data is when you're using it, you actually what they call caching. You bring the area that you want to have the map used in down to your phone, and you use that alone. So that feature is a very interesting one that I discovered not too long ago. And what it means is that the way you use it is you just simply go to that area of the, you just go to your settings and you ask in the settings for you to get the area that you want only. And if you can see in this example here, it's called Catching Google Maps. You just bring it down, you put the area that you want, it comes to your phone down in there in the catch, and then you can use it to do your GPSing, as we call it, and to go in there, right? So you can do that. Another interesting way, very good for a lot of us, is what you do in terms of how you can display videos. You know, when you're on Facebook, the video on a feed jumps up and you almost play for yourself, you could say. When that happens, that's a lot of money you're spending there too, in the data that you're consuming. And one of the things you can do is to go into your phone, like I've just tried to capture here, and you actually turn off the video autoplay. So it doesn't play out automatically, which means that if it's not playing, it's not consuming data, which means that if it's not consuming data on your phone, it means that you have that available, you're not paying for that in any event, that's something that you're not using. So those are some of the ways that I've found, that we can save on phone usage, especially speaking about the data. The communication, the talk is a little more personal and deliberate on what you have to do, but the data. In data also there is something called offline listening. So you see a lot of people with the phone in their ears, and before the phones used to allow you to have the FM radio and you could listen to the radio even without consuming data, because it's just a radio as well. But them old time kind of radio phone have given way to you having to download it or to get the listen offline feature in. And it's important, if you have a cell phone, check out all these things. It's a little bit detailed. So what people like me had to do, I had to call my son and ask him to fix up this thing, make sure it's in place, and so that I can pay less. And listen, by telling you that, I'm telling you that on that line, I don't even pay for a universal general plan. Why? Because in my phone lifestyle, I don't need a universal general plan. And so I wouldn't want to pay for a universal general plan. But to pay for what you use, you actually just give some attention to how you use the phone and sit down in the store for a while. Sit down in the store for a while and figure out how to do that. In the Facebook too, you can go to the Facebook menu, settings, videos and photos, and you go to autoplay, and you just tick the knob, it go from blue to gray. Bob is your uncle. Savings right there. So. Yes. So those are some of the ways. Yes.
Long time in here, Bob is your uncle. It's been a while.
Oh, he is. You know what? You see, every time you're saving on wasteful things and so on. Especially if you are not aware, but you pay attention, you become aware. Man, that is your best uncle. And money in the bank.
Okay, so that was cell phone. And with the onset of cell phones, not many people have landline or home phones, as we call them these days. But either way, for the people who still have a landline, any savings tip for them?
Yeah, landline. I mean, that is indeed what you call it, it's becoming. You see, like how they used to have telephone on the side of the road, and you could phone booth. Cell phone booth. That's the word, the phone booth. Well, these things are becoming like phone booth, but they are still essential. That's why you find many businesses still have their fixed lines, and at home, many homes also keep the fixed line for one reason or another. But what we find though is that the rates for home lines are becoming very, very low. So it's becoming very manageable for most people. And that might be something that you might find result in a change around in the way we do communication through phone, because it's becoming very cheap, number one. And number two, most of the agencies are now bundling their phone with the other services. So your internet service comes with the option of a phone line. Well, it comes through a phone line anyway, and then you have the option whether to use it or not. So when home phone is something you will keep if you have no problem with the reduced and very small prices. But depending on what you do, it's very necessary still, and you would want to keep your home phone. For certain times, it will still be important. Certain situations, disasters, older persons in the home find it easier to work with a home phone, and it being more being a landline, it being more reliable in certain situations, weather situations and so on, for example. But you also have the new trend of using the VoIP, the voice over IP. So you have your Skype, you have your same Zoom, you have your WhatsApp, even your Facebook has calls right now. So those ways help you to save. And so if you have that kind of communications lifestyle that have you most of the times on voice over IP services, then maybe you do not even need the extra $70, $60 on your home phone. So that is a way. But other than that, it's very difficult. So as we could say, you bundle. If you can bundle on home phone, you do bundle, because in bundling, it means that you link in your home phone cost to your internet service costs, and in some countries you also have it linked to the cable costs and so on. So you could do the bundle wherever is possible, and that was a savings as well, because you retain a home phone, but at the same time you do not pay in the standalone price. You pay in the bundled price for your phone. This is a tricky one, communication. You want to have that essential, but at the same time you have to be careful about the cost, and there are very few little ways in which you could save, but you have to be deliberate. Once you deliberate, you will find those ways. Telephone, phone services.
Well, okay.
And of course, we're keeping away from comparing, because there are not that many options, In other countries, the big world, you have different providers, different suppliers, and so you could shift from one to the other. Each of them have deals and so on. We don't really have those. We have occasional deals. You pay attention to them, but it really depends on personal deliberate.
So we've dealt with the appliances, we've dealt with the phones, now on to one of the most expensive, how do you call it again, services. One of the essential services for a lot of us, electricity. How can we save on electricity, on our electricity bills?
Again, this one is very much tied to habits and being very deliberate. A big one, though, that is becoming very, very impactful, very effective, is where you use solar energy for your home. It is not there in all Caribbean countries as yet, but like in Barbados, if you invested in solar for your home, you have solar heating for your water, and even for some of your light, your night lights, you find that you have a savings on the upfront cost, because there are incentives that the government have put in place to encourage renewable energy, and you can benefit from that. So solar is one of the things. It has a big upfront cost, but the amount of savings that you have by not paying electricity for your energy at home is very great in the long term. So it depends on your home situation. It depends on the kind of house you have and the financial ability that you have to save up and then purchase, like any other major appliances, purchase your solar system. You have that on your house or wherever it is best located, and it may cost you a couple thousand, tens of thousands of dollars at the start, but it is a way to save as well. So solar is one. The other ways are much easier, much cheaper. Hit the switch to off when you're leaving the room. I mean, it's just something that we know, but very often we don't do. And you could even go and fall asleep and your light could be on whole night. And you're paying for that, you have not been using it. Hit the light switch, hit the off switch, that's very important. Pull the plug, that's another way in which you could save. You take the plug out. There are some appliances which, even though they're plugged in, they are still consuming energy. So you want to take them off. Even on this strip, the strip that you have to put multiple appliances in, if you're not using any of them, you take it off. Because while they plug in, they're still consuming energy. It's like even your phone or so, when it's on, if you have it still attached to the cable, it's actually drawing on the energy. We don't know that, but that is happening. Yes, you don't see them. A very big way that I have saved a lot is in my household, we've saved a lot, is to change to the LED bulbs. Those bulbs, when they came around, they said the Chinese gave us these bulbs, and they were giving them away free. When you replace the regular conventional bulbs with these, you save a lot of money, because those things, they're on for ages and they consume very minuscule fractions of what the other ones do. Your bill could drop $100, $100 and something, depending on the size of your home and the number of persons in there using electricity. If you replace all your lights, and you have the regular bulb lights, and you have also the fluorescent longer panel lights, and you have all of them. Replacing that is also helping as a savings. You have energy saving bulbs that are energy saving because they go on with the light, with the daylight. So they come on and they go off. They're a little more expensive, but when you put them in, you find that your night light is only coming on at night and it's going off during the day automatically. These are savers for persons who will be leaving your home, or you go to sleep early and then you forget the thing in the morning, you don't take it off, whole day the outside light on still because you forget to take it off. And so that installing that type of bulb, which an electrician can do for you very easily. And after he put it in the first time, you do it all the time, and that's not a problem. So those are ways in which you can save, become energy efficient. As for things like the refrigerator, in there, every time you open it, it consumes much more energy in order to cool back. So if you keep open it, closing it all the time, yeah. So as children, we get a lot of licks for that, and we can understand why our parents want to save. They don't not want us in the fridge. It's not that they don't want us in the refrigerator. It's not that they don't want us to take a snack. But I mean, take a snack, finish what you have to do, and that is that. Because when you open and close, sometimes even big people, you know. You open, you take a lime in the fridge, you know, you just, I wonder what to take now. What I come here for again? Yes. Those habits lead you into spending money that you really don't have to. It's again, you know, the way in which you use the appliances. And some appliances don't cost a lot of money, like you don't take a lot of energy, like your TV, maybe your fans and so on, but they do cost quite a bit of money still. And if you use an AC, for example, the technicians have told us that the AC, you put it to that level and you leave it there, because going up and down consumes much more energy than a stable temperature for over time. So you either want a thermostat where it is done automatically and it is staying at the indicator that you give it, but not one that keeps going on and off, because on and off, just like a car uses more gas when it's starting off than when it's running smoothly on the road. Just so the appliances, they consume much more energy when they're being plugged on, plugged off, start up, stop. So those are the things that you want to do. So that's it. You regulate your temperature to the way it's more comfortable in your house. Electricity, again, just like phone, necessity, very tricky. You using the energy and you paying the bills without even seeing it. But if you develop habits that enable you to use less, then you actually save more.
I never knew that about AC, you know, that changing the temperature affects the electricity bill. Look, I learned something more this morning. Lost telling me. Well, we've learned, I feel as though I walk around the whole house this morning, saving tips. We're saving on appliances, landline, cell phone, electricity. As we wrap up, any closing points?
Well, walking around the house indeed. Only to say that depending on how you look at it, appliances can be very expensive and can be burdens from that point of view. Or, on the other hand, they can be energy-saving investments that you purchase and that you use to your great benefit. You can purchase them at a great price if you take the tips regarding sales and so forth, and model selection and so. Or you can purchase it at a bad price if you wait until you're desperate, and all that is out there is what you can pay for. You can pay extra for it if you're going to use credit to pay for it, because you would not have planned to replace it in a time when you have saved enough money to buy it cash. So likewise, phone is the same thing. You know, they just like electricity. The services depend on how intentional you are in using it, making sure that you have the plan that is suited to you, the one that you can afford at the time, and that you use it in a way, you use your communication devices in a way that you do not spend more than you really have to spend. And always we remember, you know, we say that each episode we have the chance that whatever you save is something not to be consumed otherwise, but whatever you didn't spend on this because you were intentional about it, you were deliberate about it, it cost $1,300, you got your deal at $1,200, it means you have $100 to go to your savings account.
Yes, Mr. Francis, thank you so very much once again, always coming through with the ways on how we can let our money work for us. Appreciate it as always. Next week, please the Lord, we're saving on...
We try to do clothing and vacations. We try to put both of them together, clothing and vacation, and see if we could save on that. You know, we have to prepare not to mash too many corns in this one.
Yes. I need a vacation, and two, I need to amp up my wardrobe. Okay, so
let's look at that next week.
Appreciate. Thank you so very much. And will we have, I know we only have, today's number 9, so we only have 3 more episodes. Will we have an episode where we can specifically teach our children to save?
Right. Well, that has been a popular request. So what do you think if we let's go and make sure we have all our permissions in place and get the last episode to be dedicated to children learning to save it, and how we adults can help them to save. Let's try to do the last episode on that.
All right, looking forward to that one.
Children.
Episode number 12, children. Looking forward to that, as all the episodes that we've done. Thank you so very much, Mr. Francis. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Is it raining where you are?
It is. I was worried that the sound was coming over. I was even hearing it through the earphones.
I heard it in the beginning just slightly, so I just wanted to verify that's what I was hearing.
That is what you were hearing. It's not on now, so I hope that the rest of the day would be nice. We have a few chores to do on the outside.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Yeah, same to you. Have a blessed day. And may your viewers and listeners' finances multiply.
Amen. Thank you. Money Matters, this segment, a 12-part series sponsored by Republic Bank every Tuesday, 7:15 a.m. here on Good Morning Grenada with Mr. Francis. He's been teaching us how to let our money work for us. And like he just said, may our finances multiply. Amen. Let's take actually, it's time for us to end the televised portion of the program. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. At the top of the hour, we link up with the BBC for the 8 a.m. newscast. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Bye-bye.
We are taking pride in outstanding performance.